As you sit there now, you can take a slow, gentle breath and just notice that even the tiniest shift in your breathing begins to change something on the inside, doesn't it? You don't have to do this perfectly to begin to relax more deeply, and you might already be aware of how, when you simply pause and breathe, your body starts to adjust, recalibrate, rebalance for you. You can let your eyes rest wherever they want to rest, or close if that is comfortable, because as you listen to these words, you might allow your unconscious mind to do most of the work for you. You can be aware of any fear in the background, and you don't have to push it away, because even though a part of you might be afraid of illness or cancer or some unknown thing, another part of you can become curious about how your body already knows how to protect you, how to repair, how to heal in ways you don't even consciously control. It's interesting, isn't it, how a cut on your skin closes, how a bruise fades, how a cold eventually passes. And all of that happened because your body has been quietly on your side this whole time. And the more you remember that, the more you can begin to feel the possibility that your body and mind can work together even more powerfully now. Perhaps there was a moment recently when you felt a strange sensation or noticed a bump or had a thought that said, what if something is wrong? And you can notice that the thought is just a thought and the feeling is just a feeling. And yet, when those come together, the mind can start spinning stories. You may not be aware yet of how quickly your body responds when you begin to tell a different story, a more helpful story, one where you are the person who knows how to get checked when needed, relax when needed, and let your body do what it does best. Have you realized yet how much energy fear can drain from the body, and how shifting that energy into calm and confidence can free your immune system to work even better for you? Let me tell you a story. Imagine a gardener who walks out to their favorite tree one day and notices a small, strange bump on a branch. For a moment, the gardener's heart sinks. What if the tree is diseased? What if it dies? What if everything is ruined? Have you ever noticed how the mind can jump from a single bump on a branch to the whole forest being gone? Well, in that moment, this gardener remembers something important. This tree has lived through storms, through winters, through years of change. The gardener remembers how many times new buds have appeared after harsh seasons. So instead of panicking, the gardener gently examines the branch, maybe asks an expert, gives the tree good water, nourishing soil, a little extra care. And day by day, the tree does what healthy trees do. It sheds what it no longer needs, it repairs, it grows new cells because that is just what it does. And the gardener realizes that fear can be a signal to pay attention, but it does not have to be a prison. Now, as you hear that, you might already be making the connection because your body is like that tree. You can notice something, get it checked in a wise and grounded way, and then you can allow your inner gardener to nurture the soil of your life. The sooner you choose calm actions, the sooner your body can do calm things. The question isn't whether your body has powerful healing responses, but how much you are willing to let them work for you now. And as you listen, you might allow your unconscious mind to remember all the times your body has already healed, already protected you, already corrected something quietly in the background. You can imagine now that your mind is like the gardener's attention. Where you place it, life grows. If you water fear with more fearful thoughts, fear grows. If you water calm, trust, wise action, those states grow. You might be wondering how quickly you can begin to feel that shift, and it could be sooner than your conscious mind expects, right? As you continue to breathe gently, you could let a wave of kindness move through your chest as if you were saying to your own body, I am on your side. Speaking to yourself, you can say, I choose to calm down now. I choose to support you. I choose to listen to wisdom instead of panic. Isn't it interesting how the body responds when the mind says you are safe right now? We are paying attention. We are taking care of things. Even though there may still be uncertainty, you can still choose to relax a little more than before. Even though part of you might want to obsess, another part of you can look up and remember there is more to your life than this one worry. You might imagine a dial in your mind that controls the intensity of fear, and you can sense that you can turn that dial down one notch at a time, because it's not necessary to have fear at the maximum level in order to take wise action. In fact, the calmer you are, the clearer your decisions tend to be, don't they? And you know, those who understand how the body works recognize that relaxation is not laziness. It is intelligent cooperation with your own biology. When your nervous system downshifts, your breathing deepens, your muscles soften, your circulation improves, your digestion settles, your immune system can focus on what it needs to focus on. You might not consciously see all the cells and signals and tiny intelligent processes, but your unconscious mind can decide now to allow your body to do its best work. A person can allow healing responses to deepen simply by deciding to be on their own side. There is another story your unconscious mind might enjoy. Imagine someone who always believed that other people win the lottery of health, that other people are lucky, that other people get good outcomes. And one day, this person is holding an actual lottery ticket, just as an example, and thinks, why would I win? People like me don't win. And then they remember something. There were times they did win. They got a second chance. They recovered from an illness. They passed an exam. They survived a heartbreak. They found a way through something they thought would break them. Have you realized yet how many times you have already won in life? Quiet wins, personal wins, emotional wins, physical wins. The unconscious mind keeps a record of those, even when fear forgets. Now imagine that same person standing in front of a mirror and saying with a small smile, what if I am the kind of person who wins more often than I realized? What if my body is much more resilient than I used to believe? What would happen if I identified as someone whose cells are constantly renewing, whose immune system is learning, whose mind is becoming calmer and clearer each day? You might wonder what it feels like to be that person, because as you imagine it now, you can begin to become it. The sooner you identify as someone whose body and mind cooperate, the sooner your unconscious can arrange your habits, your choices, your thoughts to match that identity. You don't have to know exactly how to heal in order to allow healing. The question isn't whether your body is doing thousands of intelligent things right now, but how much appreciation and support you are willing to give it. As you continue to listen, you could picture a soft light in the center of your chest, a color that represents calm strength for you, maybe a warm gold, a gentle blue, or any color that feels right. That light can represent your inner healing intelligence, and you don't have to force anything. You might simply notice how that light gradually spreads with each breath, moving through your chest, shoulders, arms, down the spine, into the belly, pelvis, legs, all the way to your feet. You may find that as this light spreads, it gently soothes areas of tightness, softens areas of tension, and brings a sense of comfort even to places that felt strange or scary. Perhaps that bump or sensation, wherever it is, can be surrounded by this gentle light, not as a magical cure, but as a signal. I am listening, I am caring, I am giving you warmth instead of panic. How does it feel knowing that you can offer that kind of presence to your own body? You may not be aware of all the ways this changes your internal chemistry, and that is perfectly fine, because while you relax, your unconscious can learn what it needs to learn. There is something powerful about being the kind of person who takes wise external action and deep internal care. You can sense that you are able to schedule that checkup, follow through on needed tests, listen to good medical advice, and at the same time, refuse to live in a state of constant terror. Because you already know that waiting in fear is different from waiting in calm trust. Before you take any next medical step, you can first let yourself breathe and say, I choose peace. After you take those steps, you will notice it is easier to rest in the knowledge that you are doing what you can. It is possible that every small, wise choice you make now adds up to a feeling of strength, isn't it? I can sense that you are the kind of person who wants to cooperate with life, not fight against your own body. Those who understand self-care recognize that the way they speak to themselves matters. So as you hear my voice in your mind, you can also hear your own voice becoming kinder. You might say to yourself now, I am choosing right now to send calm signals to my body. I am choosing to respect my fears without feeding them. I am choosing to get anything important checked by professionals I trust. I am choosing to let go of stories that only scare me and create new stories that support me. You might even imagine that your cells are leaning in to hear these messages. Every time you say, I am on my own side, it's as if trillions of tiny workers inside you feel encouraged. They are already cleaning, repairing, sorting, rebuilding. When you relax, you give them better conditions to work in. The sooner you relax into trust, the sooner your body's inner workers can get on with their tasks efficiently and intelligently, because that's what they know how to do. And you could, if you wanted to, look back over your life and notice the times you were certain something awful would happen and then it didn't, or when something difficult did happen and you were more capable than you imagined. Isn't it interesting how, when you review that history, it becomes obvious that you are not fragile in the way fear says you are? Something tells me you're the kind of person who persists, who adapts, who learns, who becomes stronger. How does it feel knowing that, regardless of what any doctor ever says, you can still choose to support your body with calm, with rest, with good food, with movement, with love? Let's shift gears for a moment and imagine your future self, some months or years from now, looking back at this period. That future, you might say, I remember when I used to panic at every sensation, and then I learned to listen without collapsing into fear. I learned to take care of things quickly and calmly. I learned that my body is wise and my mind can be my ally. You might be wondering what that future you looks like, how they stand, how they breathe, the glow in their eyes, the steadiness in their voice. And as you imagine that future you can begin to import some of that steadiness into this moment right here. I'm getting the impression that you're already beginning to feel a subtle shift. Maybe it is a little more warmth in the chest, or a tiny softening around the eyes, or a sense of the shoulders loosening. You don't have to make a big dramatic change to know something is happening. Small, repeated signals of safety can add up to big changes, you know. You may find that over the next hours and days, when the old fear thoughts appear, you can say to them, I hear you, and we are safe right now, and we are taking care of things. Then you can gently redirect your attention to something that nourishes you, That reminds me that you can use your own attention like a beam of light on a stage. Whatever you illuminate becomes the main character. If fear tries to stand in the spotlight, you can choose to dim that light gently and turn it toward gratitude for what is working in your body, appreciation for the people who care about you, curiosity about the next good moment in your day. As you continue to move through life, you can let this new pattern develop. Notice, check, act, and then relax. Notice, check, act, and then relax over and over until it becomes natural. You may not be aware yet of how deeply your unconscious mind is absorbing these ideas, and that's perfectly fine. Some people listen to words like these and later notice that they feel kinder to their body, that they breathe differently, that they sleep a little more deeply, that they talk to doctors with more calm, that they no longer spiral at every sensation. You might be one of those people, might you not? As this time of inner focus begins to come to a close, you can take a moment to silently thank your body for all the ways it has already carried you. You can thank your mind for wanting to protect you, even when it got a little overprotective. And you can choose now to step into a new identity, a person who lives in partnership with their own body, a person who responds to fear with wisdom, a person who quietly believes, I am the kind of person who wins more than I lose in life, whose cells are on my side, whose future is not decided by a single sensation. You don't have to rush to end this state. When you are ready, you can let your awareness return to the room you're in, noticing any sounds around you, the feeling of the surface supporting you, the rhythm of your breathing. And as you come back, you can bring with you this calm confidence, this sense that something inside you has shifted in a helpful way. You may open your eyes whenever it feels right, bringing back with you a deeper trust in your body, a clearer commitment to wise action, and a growing belief that you and your body are on the same team now and in the days to come.